Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. We're jumping in the queue here. No games live, so of course we're matched right away. I think I played Groove Wizard once, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe I've just seen their name on the leaderboard or something. Oof. Really? What is the deal here? Nothing but freeze in the advanced set. Wow! I mean, and also the Dynamo. Right, well, we'll give him... There we go. So nothing but red freeze. What do you even do? Like, obviously breach-proof beats freeze stuff, but I think it loses to Tarsiers, right? Like, Tarsiers and walls, basically? There's just not much here to enable it. I don't really understand what to do here. I think you get 2 Dynamos because that's like just fine. I'm not worried about opponent building an Animus here because whatever red stuff they go for, I'm happy to have this. Right? If they don't build freeze, then it's like, well, really, it's just building Tarsiers. That's no good. And if they do build freeze, it's like, great, I'll just go breach proof. So, like also they wouldn't. I don't know, they could start with it. Frostbooter or something, but I don't think that would be something they would do. I don't have a clear picture of like what wins here. Can you build Tatsus? I think Tatsu's a unit to keep an eye on. As like something you'd really like to get. And there's like red sinks, so you can, once you have trouble defending, you can stop building Tatsus and still be okay. But none of that is much good until opponent has committed to something that like has trouble with freeze. And in particular, like if opponent goes mono red, Tatsu's actually not good against that. Tatsu rushes tend to lose to like Rhino spam. Or like, perhaps even worse, Shiver plus Rhino spam. Okay, opponent's getting a red. So, probably starting with Tarsiers, that seems good. I don't disagree. Like, I think we just do this? This might be a little bit too much green. What if we got 2 Animuses instead? I'm not really on enough econ for that. Am I? Yeah, I think opponent would just like build some Rhinos and Shivers and cause me some trouble. I think this just gives opponent too much room to do whatever they want. I'm gonna try the Tatsus. I think it's probably losing, but I'd like to see how. And I think if I just follow with a single red, I'm giving like opponent the green light to do lots of good things. What do you get here? I think 2 Tarsiers, right? Maybe you get Frostbrooders instead to, like, somehow be breach-proof. Like, I mean, Frostbrooders aren't breach-proof, but they're not Tarsiers. Okay. Just gonna try and rush down my Tatsus. So I don't actually have to build Tatsus right away. Right? Like I can build a Brooder, Tarsier, Rhino, Drone? No, Drone. I could do this. Something, right? Now I'm absorbing their Gauss Cannon. On the other hand, now when the Frostbites arrive, can I really get a Tatsu? Maybe. Yeah, let's try this. I guess when the Frostbites arrive, I'll have a golden Tatsu. So there's that. And I believe a Force Field and Rhino hold defends. And I'm obviously holding the Rhino because why wouldn't you? Right, they're threatening 3 plus freezing these 2. They can get to a Frostbite or a Drone if they want to spend all their freeze. I don't think that's worth it for them. Oh, right. Force Field is... Right, hang on. So... They have 3 attacks. So if they freeze this and this, they get to 1 thing. If they freeze this and this, they kill just NGs. If they freeze just NGs, I have defense with the Force Field. Okay. I think if I breach, like, I'm happy to kill Frostbites. That's the only advantage my opponent has over me, is that they threaten a bunch of breach pressure. Rather, I'm more breach vulnerable, right? We have similar amounts of breach pressure, but I'm under a lot more pressure of, like, actually caring about a breach. And so if I can wipe these Frostbites off the map, I think I'm pretty happy. I can't build another Tatsu next turn. Oh, yeah, that's probably good. Get 1 damage out of the Frostbite instead of 1 health? Sure. So first of all, can I defend and still build a Tatsu? This would do it. This means they wouldn't have to use their Frostbite. They're sort of transitioning to Gauss Cannons now, though, right? So maybe I don't want more Tatsus? Uh-oh, time. This defends also. These Frostbites suck. Opponent's gonna just, like, not have any defense ever. I was thinking of canceling them both to build a Tarsier, but I didn't get there in time. Which to actually commit it. Okay, but now I'm gonna be the one with access to walls, right? I have access to those too, an opponent doesn't. Might as well kill this Rhino because it's going to be defending next. No, I can just keep it frozen forever. Probably needs to be NG. I have this dying Rhino, right? Drone. So yeah, then that lets me turn my green into force fields, which is fine. And I can kill off the Dynamo this turn, which is nice. I am scared. I think I'm losing this. I just committed too much to freeze. Like, if these two Frostbites had been a Tarsier, that'd be way better. And I mean, maybe I'd still be losing then because I got this Tatsu, but... Oh boy. Yeah, this is like clearly over. Okay, fine. I think just like... Committed to the Tatsus too soon, I think. When opponents still had the option to just basically ignore red and go for Gauss cannons. I was thinking that this red committed them a little more than it really does. They were able to just buy like a couple Frostbites and then switch to green and like, okay, yeah, they're floating a bunch of red, or even spending the red on Frostbites, which is worse for me. And I didn't have enough econ to defend all of this Tatsu nonsense. Yeah, so I think this was just a bad turn. And I didn't like it when I built it, but I was afraid of like building single animus, and opponent has some pretty cool lines after that, I think. But maybe the advantage of single animus is that like it avoids committing to anything. Right, because if you commit to like Tarsiers, then the Tatsu becomes a lot more appealing for your opponent. But if you commit to Tatsu, they don't have to build Tarsiers, they can just build a couple Frostbites and go green. So there were probably some tactical mistakes after that, but really the problem was strategic. Really? 1687. I thought he was a pretty good player. At least in the top 200. Maybe he's got vacation penalty. What is going on in this game? I think that Steelforge is actually good here, because it lets you get out a wall or two and then sell off your blue to buy protos or fangs instead. Don't like that play at all. Some kind of weird joke that these two Galvanis. What in the hell? Are we like really excited about getting a conduit? No, we're floating for double animus. Ooh. Ooh. That doesn't seem very good, does it? I mean, you get the Galvani as well. I feel like you should go protos against this, not Tarsiers. Like if you I feel like this response was just telling your opponent, yes, go ahead and Fang Rush me. YOLO boys indeed. Because like the Fang player just can't survive protos. Right, you get a conduit last turn and animus this turn. Well, maybe you're doing fine with just Rhino spam, actually. That's an interesting thought. Yeah. Shut off their Galvanis. No! 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 If you don't build the Fangs, you're 1,000,000% losing. Even though the Fangs look like they lose too. Like, you have to build them, I think. Build 2 more NGs? Yeah. Oh man, this hurts so much. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Groove Wizard, you got me again. And you actually were perfectly fine with your opponent going for Fangs. 2 more Rhinos. Go get them. Yeah, I dare you to build a Fang. What, Fang and hold 3 drones? 2 drones, I guess. Oh man, the exploit strats. Yeah. Pretty sure you still just attack with everything, right? And like try to squeeze in 1 Tarsier maybe? It's like, if you just build Rhinos forever, can your opponent live through that or not? You're attacking for 4 every turn. They have to build 3 soak, which is like Rhino NG. They can't ever make use of their extra animus if you're doing that, so you're probably winning somehow. Okay, well, I guess we get matched against one of these two. Weren't there other games in the queue? Those guys should have finished, right? Yeah, I'm in the queue. Alright. We got aye, sir. Base +5. I see a lot of soak. Seems like a pretty slow game, so you probably want to get some Tarsiers. And the grade is your defender. And you might this should be 3rd NG. You might very well get up to the point where you can build Hannibals for soak eventually. Yeah, 3rd NG into conduit is fine because of sentries. What if you went 3rd NG into float into animus and then forge and skipped green? That's probably better. Like, green is okay here, but you don't really want to defend on sentries, and you don't want to soak them that badly either. They counteract frostbite play, though, so maybe they're still fine. Yeah, and if you get a sentry as your first absorber instead of grid, it, like, pokes your opponent a bit. Really? No third NG, huh? I think with grid and no good attackers, it's gotta be right. I don't think Frostbite is good pressure against all the defensive options available. I'll be interested to see what opponent does here. I still think I'm gonna disagree with you here and go third NG. But I'm not so sure what I'm doing next turn because I don't know what opponent is up to yet. If they... I don't know. If they get like an Animus, I'll probably need green and then blue and then wall. If they get a Forge, I don't know. Weird. Okay, time to get Splitter Rushed. What do we do against that? I don't think we can afford to go so slowly as to get an Animus, or float and then get an Animus, can I? Like, or so greedy as that? Because like I clearly want a Forge next turn. Given that, like, what am I going to do with my green? I might as well build a Conduit. That'll let me get sentries someday, which is good against, you know, my opponent being the aggressor. I kind of want some more soak available. Pixie. Oh, that's fine. I don't even have to wall against that. You really should have clicked this Pixie, I think. Now we just buy some Tarsiers. Okay, so they just want a Bull Rush, which seems dreadful, doesn't it? Well, okay, they're not buying multiple Bulls. They're using the Bull to, like, so they don't have to buy any defenders, I guess. But I think you could have done that on a higher econ and been a bit happier. No, they are going to Bull Rush. Okay. Do I need a force field here? They're attacking for 5, 6. And I want a grid, so I guess yes. I think these blue options should make this Hannibal Rush not good. I really would be surprised if I were wrong, but it could happen for sure. So I was going to tell a story a couple episodes ago and I forgot. It's not even really a story. I was in Pance's stream. He's a Prismata streamer. Ranked quite highly these days. Not, you know, in the top 10 or anything, but close. Higher than me. Anyway. And as is the practice in Twitch streams, everyone was backseating, saying, here's what you should do instead of what you were doing, you know. And he loves asking for advice, you know. Is this good? Blah, blah, blah. And he had put some really awful play on the table. I don't remember what it was at the moment. And he was asking, like, is this good? And, like, the consensus in the chat, of course, was like, no, this is bad. Let's see. So opponent's threatening next turn, like, what? Let's imagine they've clicked all these pixies, because they might as well. They're threatening 3, 4, 5 damage, plus maybe, you know, I'm trying to figure out if I can get away with drones. How many drones can I get away with here? I think 1 is fine. Anyway, and I remarked in response to this terrible play that he had made, put that play back in the dumpster where you found it. And he thought that was very funny because he had watched all my videos and was just trying to imagine, listen, you know, construct my voice, and how on earth would Alan have said that? That doesn't seem like a very Alan thing to say. And it's true, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like Twitch chat is a playground, right? It's a place where I feel like you can be, for me anyway, I'm not nearly as serious in Twitch chat as I am in most other places on the internet. It's a place to be like part of the peanut gallery and kind of screw around. And it's not really something that I would typically say out loud on in one of these videos. But you could say it in a number of ways, right? I said it fairly matter of fact. Put that play back in the dumpster where you found it. It doesn't really evoke much emotion, right? Or it's put that play back in the dumpster where you found it, right? Kind of dismissive and what's another word for that? Where you're looking down on someone. Disdainful. Oh yeah, disdainfully. How else could you say that? You could say it rudely. Oh, put that play back in the dumpster where you found it. Right? That's a little bit more aggressive. I don't know. Anyway, it just made me laugh, you know, him trying to imagine me saying it and not being able to. And I thought, hey, I've got this whole platform here. I could just say it a couple of times. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so what does the opponent have here? They have a slight exploit if they attack for 4, which is clicking Bull and not clicking Pixie. No. Well, 4 or 5 are both exploits. 4 is just NG, so 5. That's clicking one of Bull and Pixie. Probably Bull. So I think I should Force Field to protect against that. And just get another grid. Or actually, Pixie is really quite nice right now. To accelerate the time at which I can deal 7 damage. If I cut this Force Field, I could double Gauss Cannon even? No, but that's stupid because the Tarsiers haven't arrived yet. Okay. This is probably fine. Then I can just build 2 more Tarsiers in a grid or something, or 2 Rhinos in a grid, or like Rhino, Tarsier, or Sentry or something. I just want some soak next turn so I can comfortably build 2 attack. And, you know, now we're not getting our value out of our force field, but, well, it is getting value because it's providing 1 health this turn by not allowing an exploit. It's taking away their ability to click a Pixie for 2 damage. Right? That's what they would be doing if I didn't force field. So it's sort of gaining 1 health this turn, and then 2 health eventually. Alright, so opponent has how much? They have 7, 8 at least. So I could consider a Hannibal, but I think they would be able to exploit that. Exploit my grid if I did, so I don't want to do that. I think I just do this, and that's 7, right? Four, 5, 6, 7. Whew! Had a mini heart attack there. I guess it says 7 right here, but I was worried I had miscounted. Actually, yeah. Do you click the ball? I'm not sure. Like, leaving the ball back allows you to build more other stuff. You don't have to over-defend the sentry, right? Because if you click the ball, you have to build defense, and then I kill the ball anyway. But I threaten to not attack the ball, so... yeah, this is the defense we want. We do this. An opponent is at 9 guaranteed attack next in a couple turns, so... A Hannibal is good unless they build no additional attack this turn. Which I don't think is very likely. And I want a force field to protect my urban. Something like this. If they build no attack and get an exploit for 1, fine. I don't care. Go ahead. Actually, they have 10 attack, right? 9, 10? So this is great. Okay. They could lose the sentry if they wanted. But I guess not if they're building Bull. Because now the sentry's damage is actually meaningful. Isn't it? 9, 10. Yeah, the sentry is doing damage, so shouldn't you force field if that saves it? Oh, force field doesn't. You would need 2. Yikes. Maybe this Tarsier could have been a Rhino, but then like I couldn't build a Gauss cannon. I don't know. 13. But they're losing the sentry probably, right? So I can gambit my own sentry against them gambiting their grid, which is fine. I'm actually just gambiting the Rhino, sort of, right? I don't even have to lose the sentry, I can lose the Rhino instead. Nice. Good work, Cannibals. How come they're still saving this pixie, by the way? They kept it for like a million years. I guess it's fine now. Doesn't really matter, it's just killing an NG, and maybe you could imagine using it for some kind of Hannibal shenanigans someday. But I think I'm just like winning here. Like, opponent is killing exactly Bull every turn and not building any more attack. I'm killing Bull plus stuff and building more attack. So, I'm pretty happy with that. 9, 10, up to 12 if they want, but that's still just 2 NGs. I don't even need the 2 NGs yet. I could drone. Yeah. I'm also like ahead on Hannibal supply. I could almost even click the Bull, but I think that's gotta be wrong. Well, is it though? Gambit these two? Against them not clicking the Bull? No, I don't want to let them click. I don't want to have 2 Hannibals next turn. They could probably find a way to do 14 damage to it, right? Could they? Maybe not. 9, 10. I'm killing this. They'd have to build 4 attack next turn? I don't think they could do it. And then I'd actually be getting Hannibal absorbed. Well, it's not really any better than Disabsorb, is it? I think they won't click Hannibal if I do this. Am I okay with that? Not really. I don't think it's worth the extra damage. We both have a lot of green. What are we doing with that green? Can we build sentries or what? Our grid's just better than that? Opponent has more blue. That's the main advantage he has. But I have like this Rhino tempo and more attackers and Hannibal tempo. And I don't know. It seems like I have a lot of things. How did opponent never end up building any rivals anyway? Like, that doesn't seem right. They just built too many Tarsiers, maybe? What was the point of going back to the beginning for that? I don't know. They just wanted to think about their turn differently, I guess. Whatever. Wow, another Tarsier. Here, I can click this and gambit the sentry. That's fine. Actually, it's just losing the sentry. But only if they don't click the Hannibal. Which, like, I guess that's fine with me. Since it means I can build another sentry here. I think this Tarsier was way too greedy, but also the opponent was losing regardless, so... I you know, who cares? Is it really a losing play if all the other plays were also losing? This grid is like a champion. It's absorbed all 3 non-frontline damage every turn for like 100 years. Opponent here is not losing any attack, so... I'm losing a sentry, so I'll build a wall. Actually, hang on. I'm keeping alive 4 health. This is 6. Means I can build another sentry. It might be time to switch to grids instead of sentries, but I don't know, like... Attackers are good. Okay. Great. So I think like third engineer was clearly the strat here. Did opponent's reluctance to click Pixie ever cost him anything by giving me like a bunch of energy that I was able to use? Not really. Yeah, even here I only wanted 2 drones. Yeah, okay, so it didn't matter after all. They kept it around, like this one around to like maybe make some weird Hannibal exploits or something, I don't know. But I think the Bull Rush was the wrong idea. It commits you to too much tech before you have all the drones you want. Well, I mean, there's Pixie. Like, you're not that committed, and you can build Tarsiers, but you need more drones. And with Grid, it's pretty easy to defend the Hannibal. Wait, what was that noise? Is that the Hannibal noise? Oh, it's the Urban Sentry noise. I've never really listened to that. Weird. Okay. Yeah, and then using Hannibals as like these amazing gigantics of units. Once opponent got up to enough attack for it was clearly great. And switching to Rhinos, when did opponent have a chance to like buy Rhinos? Like maybe these last 2 Tarsiers could have been Rhinos, what might have helped a bit. They were having trouble defending. Yeah, I don't know, but they were just down drones. Not a lot to do there. Okay, what could I have improved? I think this opening is fine against Hannibals. And, I guess getting this drone here... I was thinking about total amount of defense I would have, and like, would it be enough against Hannibals? But then when the actual turn came around, I looked and was like, well, wait a minute, I'm exploitable if opponent attacks for 5. And that would have been something to think about the previous turn. It's like, could opponent attack for 5? Obviously, yes. And then there's still, it's still a question of like, well, given that they can attack for 5, how do you plan to fix your granularity next turn? Do you do it by buying one more engineer instead of the drone now? Or do you buy the drone and then just force field next turn? And I think buying the drone is actually better. It costs you $3, and then you get $1 back because you're harvesting it. But you pay $1 because you're force fielding, so those sort of even out. It costs $3 and a green for 2 health, right? And so it's basically turning a green and a gold into a health. And given that I'm floating a lot of green and will be for some time, I think that's a great trade to make. Even though the health like doesn't get value right away, it's like, you know, just building some preemptive engineers against the fact that your opponent is rushing you. Right, this force field doesn't defend for a while, but I don't know, I probably overdid it with these MGs, but what else was I supposed to do with all this money? I didn't want a Gauss cannon. I could have floated it, I guess. Tried to get another drone this turn or something, but I didn't want to think about how much attack my opponent was gonna actually get. And then the very next turn I wanted the NGs, so probably fine. Maybe I could have gotten 1 fewer NG. But then I still can't turn that into a drone on either of these turns, right? On this turn. If I could sell an NG and buy a drone this turn, would I? Yeah. So I should have bought 1 fewer NG last turn. I guess I should have been more on the lookout for opportunities to make drone followed by force field instead of double NG. Because it's sort of turning a green into a gold in a way. That's another way to think of it. Because instead of spending 4 gold this turn, on 2 health next turn, you can spend 3 gold this turn and a green next turn, plus the 1 gold, but the drone cancels out with that, so it turns a green into a gold, and that's something I would love to do, isn't it? I think so. In fact, I could even cut like 2 of these NGs and buy the drone now. I could even cut all of them, couldn't I? No, that costs some granularity. I can't buy the drone now, that's the problem. Right. So what really I should do is look ahead to this turn and realize that I'll want fewer NGs than this. That's a little harder to do. But I think in principle, if you had enough time and were a thorough enough player, you could notice that play, and so it's a mistake. It's not like a decision that it's not like something I did in response to the amount of attack my opponent built. It's just like something I'm pretty much doing regardless, but I didn't think far enough ahead to see it. And then, I don't know, once the Hannibal pain got going, it was game over. I don't know, maybe I could have lost if I hadn't been building rhinos as well. Like, if I tried to continue with Tarsiers, I could have maybe lost. But that's not a mistake that I would typically make, so I think I can... In analyzing whether the game is over, I can count on myself to be a player of about my own skill level and correctly transition to rhinos. So the game was sort of over there. Okay, cool. Well, glad to win one. I don't know, have we been losing recently? I don't even keep track. We must have, because the last time I remember looking at this, it said 50. So, oh yeah, I lost the game against some Groove Wizard recently? Yeah. Yeah, and also Modus Ponies, those both hurt. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.